llegó. La libertad es un canto que a todos convocó. Pospongamos el sexo, la risa, el alcohol. El grito que te nombra es urgente, es clamor. O lo haces tú, o lo hago yo. Quiero saber cuál de los dos. O lo haces tú, o lo hago yo. Quiero saber cuál de los dos. O lo haces tú, o lo hago yo. Quiero saber cuál de los dos. O lo haces tú, o lo hago yo. Quiero saber cuál de los dos. O tú o yo.
All right. You like that, huh? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our show. I am your host, Iskra Perez, and my co-host on this side.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Riquet Caballero, Cuban Libertarian in the house. Welcome to another edition of Somos Más English.
Yes, and we have two very, very special guests with us tonight, Riquet. You know, you actually introduced me to them. You found them on, I don't know where you found them. I think either on Facebook or YouTube. Where did you find them?
That's right. They made a very, very moving video on Facebook regarding the San Isidro movement. And I fell in love. So I had to, show everybody.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and bring them in because I think they want to be part of this party. Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for having us.
There seems to be a little bit of a feedback
on your mic. Are you guys using Bluetooth or
We're using the Bluetooth, but it should work.
Yeah, those are AirPods. I don't know why, but it's coming in garbled.
Yeah, somebody's is not, and I know I was okay because I was just
Hold on, let me mute myself maybe.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Can you ladies hear us now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. It works.
It works. Okay. So,
yes.
Ladies, thank you for accepting our invitation. First of all, thank you for your wonderful music. I actually started this video with a Somos Más introduction because it's part of what we do. But I really wanted to go into your website and do a little bit of a video clip from your new album, which is awesome. If you guys don't mind, do you mind sharing that with our audience?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go in here and because I think it's just so beautiful, and I'm going to try and see. And let me see, let me share screen, and then I gotta do this, and bear with me because today I kind of learned all this new technology, and I'm hoping there it is. Yes.
Hey.
Okay.
Iyatawo amicha ya chao amicha la micha mia de ora mia amicha la micha amicha la micha amicha la micha ya chao amicha la micha ya chao amicha la micha mia de ora mia amicha la micha amicha la micha amicha la micha.
Well, some people is surprised for when they can see the whole video. Let's just leave them with wanting to go back and listen to it.
Wow. So that, I mean, wow. When I heard that, just took my breath away. That it really mixed everything about our culture. I love jazz as it is, and I love our African background. I was I was born in Cuba, but I came when I was 9 years old to the United States. But I've always loved our African backgrounds, and you guys have put that fusion of those two things that I love in music together, and I just felt
Also, there is the resemblance of our Spanish background too, because the Guajiras come from the Spanish side of our heritage as well. So we're trying to blend all of that from our African side and our Spanish side, because in Cuba we have a little bit of everything.
Let me ask you something. You mixed African rhythms with something else, like is that a son montuno? I'm not sure.
That's a guajira, which is a jazz eastern side of Cuba. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
So which one is Elizabeth?
I am Elizabeth.
Okay. So you were born in Havana, and you are the violinist.
Yes, I am, and I was born in Havana.
What part of Havana?
That's a fun.
That was coming.
Laughing because she never lets me forget where I come from, because I was born in one of those neighborhoods that are not the finest neighborhoods. So I was born in Los Sitios, and every time we perform, she introduces me like, I'm from Los Sitios.
Yeah.
So,
Regla, so hey, we're even,
in here, like they're from Havana and from Vedado. Yes, right.
Yeah.
I worked my way up there, and then I end up having an apartment in Vedado. Okay.
Good for you. So Magdalis, you're from Santiago de Cuba, where I mean, that's where music is at its best, right? I mean, we always hear about Havana, but people don't know the history of Santiago de Cuba and the music. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. Ooh. And we had during Spoleto Week, we have here in Charleston, we have a Spoleto festival, and once a year. This past year we didn't do it because of COVID, but once a year we have a Spoleto Week, and they always bring a Cuban group or a Cuban artist to perform. And one time they brought the Turquillo from Santiago.
Yeah.
Yes, and they brought oh my God, el grupo the danza. Oh, and it's gonna come to me.
Is it Kutumba, Folclórico Kutumba, or Folclórico Oriente?
No, they're from Havana. They're from Havana. Very, very famous. I'll find it now. But anyway, we went to their show. My husband waited for them after we're like, this is who we are. We're Cubans. We waited for them until they left, till they came out of their show, and we invited, all of them to our home the next day. And they're like, but we don't fit anywhere. We're like too many people. It's a whole group, and a whole group of dancers and a whole group of musicians. And we're like, well, yeah, we'll get you here. So we rented a van and we brought them over, and they had a wonderful time in our house. So
nice.
Yes. So just the reason for this interview is because your Facebook Live, you spoke about San Isidro, and we're here. The reason why we started these English, debates and these English Facebook Lives is because, as you know, there are many Facebook Lives, but all in Spanish, mostly about what is happening in Cuba. But we need to spread the word about what's happening in Cuba to not just the Cubans, but to everyone. You're in Canada and we're in the US. And just like you said in your video, you said, Cuba is not just about tourism and beautiful beaches, because we do have some of the best beaches and some of the most beautiful palms in the world, but it's not just about that. Unfortunately, there is a whole world that the tourist does not see. And so this is why we're doing this type of, a program, so that people can actually understand the reality of Cuba. And, the Cuban regime has done a very good job at doing good propaganda, at, putting their best face to the world. And we need to start doing good propaganda at showing them what the truth really is. Yeah. And, I'm very proud of our young adults, and especially our artists. I'm so glad that this has come out of the artist side of our young people that have decided to speak up and say, enough is enough. You're breaking our, not just forget about, this is not about communism or democracy. This is our human rights. We have the right to speak up. We have the right of movement. They're, keeping them inside jails or keeping them even inside their homes and not letting them go out. That is a human right that they are breaking, that the government is breaking. And we want the world to know that this is happening in our country.
Exactly.
And we are so proud people like yourselves because you're so young and you're speaking up about it. So I'm going to stop speaking now. Because I can go on forever, but I'm going to turn the microphone over to you girls. And I want you to tell the world how you feel, number one, because I know a lot of people don't understand what's happening and why it's happening, and number two, how you feel about what's happening. Please, in your own.
So thank you so much for the invitation once again. My name is Elizabeth Rodriguez, for the ones that are joining it now, and we have a band named OKAN. We live in Toronto, Canada right now. We immigrated to Toronto in different years. We actually met here. I've been outside of Cuba since 2013, Max since 2014. And the most important thing here is that people understand that the situation in Cuba, even for every Cuban that lives in a different part of Cuba, is different. I'm saying this because since you mentioned that I'm from Havana, and Max is from, we call her Max. Max is from Santiago. Our experiences in Cuba are actually completely different just because of that fact. The fact that she had to immigrate to Havana and become an
immigrant.
An immigrant, but also the country.
Yes.
In Havana, we were talking about this yesterday with some friends. The fact that we have had this feeling of freedom in every single step. Like for us, for me, was when I received my green card, because I lived in the States for a certain time. So when I received my first green card, I was like, oh my God, like I'm legal, like I can do these things and I can take on the world. For Max, started in Cuba when she had her first carnet de identidad with the address from Havana. So just the fact that in a country things like that happen, like the fact that just being born in a certain place, no one can imagine in the United States or in Canada or any other place that you're born in a city that is not the capital and you cannot go to your capital and make your way or work or do anything. Like you were illegal. So in a country when things like that happen, you cannot even start to just the conversation to think about anything, a future or absolutely anything when you have no right to be in the place that you were born. So they deny you rights right there at the very beginning. Basic rights. And the fact that they hide the truth. My experiences as an immigrant was actually a little bit different than Mag's as well, because I remember wanting to travel the world and go back to Cuba. I wanted to make money and go back to Cuba. And then I got here and I started reading and I started watching videos about the real Cuba and getting all of this information that, of course, Cubans don't have there. Back then, also, there wasn't internet like there is right now. And I remember being like shocked because I always knew that there was things that it was something wrong and there were horrible things happening and I was fighting and I was already like getting in trouble with certain people. But actually knowing the truth and realizing that they hide absolutely everything from us in plain sight, it felt so horrible. And I felt betrayed and I felt that I couldn't go back to a place where all those things happen. So San Isidro is the last, I would say this is the last hope that Cubans just got in a long, long time. For a long time, there hasn't been anyone in that country that will step up and say, you know what, I'm taking the risk. Because a lot of people have been doing that. Like, for example, Los Aldeanos and like all of us somehow, like the reason why McGillis has a refugee status in Canada is because she fought in Cuba too, and she got in trouble while she was at INTA. She can tell that story very soon. But at some point, they make you leave. They make you, and it's not that you don't care. It's just that you know what? I cannot fight this because you cannot trust anyone around you, or you don't know how you're going to do this. So the fact that a group of people, a different group of people, got together and started thinking of how are we going to do this? How, let's use internet and show the world how peacefully we are actually just showing the truth about Cuba without us having to do actually nothing.
Right.
Because they haven't done anything. They're just sitting at home and they were peacefully in a house doing absolutely no threat. There was no threat to anybody. And the government showed the entire like wrath that they have, like just taking them out of there with that, you know, so ferocious. So they show their face, and that group of people deserve our support and our help.
Yes, it doesn't mean that no one else have been done this fight before in Cuba. I mean, for years we have Unpacu, we have Damas de Blanco, like we have so many organizations that actually fight. They've been fighting for years. Joanny Sanchez, like so many others, and artists who, like, at the end of the day, they just left and they just moved to the States, Spain, or here in Canada. And it's very sad that you have to leave your hometown, you have to leave your home country because you cannot, there's a point where you cannot get any more beaten up. You know what I mean? Like, there's a day, like, you've been getting beaten up every single day, every time you walk on the street with your signs saying, like, down with the Castros, and then people come right at you, but that you know that these people are not the regular, your neighbor, you know, like, you know that these people are just people from the police and from the government dressed up as civilians.
Yeah, so we actually have another situation where right after San Isidro, what happened after San Isidro, where they went in, a young man, also in another part of Cuba, in Havana, I believe, he had a sign up saying, and now they are accusing him of terrorism.
Oh yeah, of course, because it goes against everything they think of.
I don't know where else in the world you would get accused of terrorism for putting up a sign that says, you know, we want to be free.
Yeah, well, it happens. It happens.
China, Iran, North Korea.
Yeah, exactly all of those countries, and all of those countries are friends with Cuba. So,
and then they try to tell the world that they are not communist. And one of my biggest concern as an American citizen and as a mother of young children, because I see you girls as my daughters, like you could possibly, my oldest daughter is 30 years old, so I'm sure, you know, my daughters, and one of my biggest concern is that little by little socialism and communism is penetrating in different parts of the world, including the United States. And I know people are saying, you Cubans are crazy. You know, we've been talking about this for over a year, you know, but all we get back is this is never going to happen here in the United States, and you Cubans are crazy. How do you feel about
it? It is important to note, guys, it is important to note that socialism and communism is not the same. And it's also important to look at countries like Finland, Denmark, Canada, that has some social parts of the government that are related to,
The socialist,
because socialist, because it's important. This is a conversation that I always want to have with Americans, with Cuban Americans that say socialism. And I'm all like, guys, it is not the same. And it's also, it's important to know how it works in other countries. I am not saying that it's perfect. And I'm not saying that socialism, it's perfect. And I'm not even getting there, but it's also important to know the difference in between those two. And it is important to realize that the United States and many countries should have programs, because they do have the money, should have programs that are, and they in America have.
But the issue is we do have socialist programs. We have many programs that are for people that cannot afford certain things. And listen, I agree, and I am one of those people that fights for, equal opportunities for women, and I fight for a lot of things, a lot. There's a lot of work to be done, but there's a fine line between, fighting for causes and becoming completely socialist, and that is where we have
draw the line.
Be careful.
You gotta look at it this way, in my opinion.
That's what we're trying to say all the time.
In order to have social programs, you need to produce Cuban dictatorship. You need to produce things in order to tax people. If you can't get blood from a stone
without producing, not like you want to do now,
or tax them without anything that they did not have. Like now, they this new law that they want you to pay for. You didn't do anything. You didn't get me that job. Why do I have to pay you taxes of that job that you didn't get me?
Right.
It's not going to happen. And that happens to every musician. Like all of those musicians that you see outside of Cuba, actually, the
empresa, how do you say, like the agency
that is mandatory, by the way. You cannot be an independent artist.
There's no such
which is a problem that
there's no such thing as an open or free or free agent, right?
No,
okay.
That doesn't exist. So if you want to travel, you have to go through the agency, and the agency takes 56% of your taxes,
if you're lucky,
of your income. Yes,
if you're
lucky,
and now you have to pay another 4% according to the new laws.
The new laws, just they're saying that those are for Cubans that live in Cuba, but they go outside for conferences and like things that they go outside and get paid.
No, I read the law. I read the law. That's not what the law states.
Exactly. The woman at Mesa Redonda was the round table was saying that this is what is actually going to happen. And then, no, but that's not what the law says. What are you talking about?
I read the law. That is not what it's saying. The law stipulates that anyone that is a Cuban citizen, which means that if you go back to your country within the 24, months time period, and you keep your Cuban citizenship, and any money that you make outside of Cuba, you have to pay a 4% income tax on that money.
Well, you know what? I think the ladies will also, what is it now? Will pay for the electricity of their family in Cuba. Their electricity bill.
Pay utilities as well. So we are the gusanos or worms. So we are called many names.
Well, I was one of the first gusanos because I was a Margarita.
They don't want, the guy that they put in power doesn't want the name calling anymore.
Yes, he said don't call them names anymore, because I think he knows that we need to pay those bills now. So he doesn't want.
It's just
now they need to respect.
Problem here, and every single Cuban knows it. Even come on, if you are smart, you don't even need to be so bright. Everybody needs that. All they need to do is leave power. That's it. That's it. Nobody's talking about the states taking over Cuba. Nobody is talking about that. Oh, we should annex. They're talking about those colonial sort of words now, like annexionismo.
They're confusing us with Puerto Ricans. I
Right.
think that's what it is.
And-
Because
and
we don't.
This is
Super nationalist. We love Cuba and we want to be Cuban.
this
And
is
we
what
have-
so
and we
important.
have many good Cubans inside and outside of Cubans that are very intelligent and very willing and, very able.
My dear,
Yes.
it would take a long, long time because the mind of Cubans are poisoned by suffer and anger and frustration and hunger and all these calamities that have been going on for so many years. So to get rid of those things, many years have to pass by, and we do have to learn a lot from all of. I wish all of the Cubans that live outside of Cuba that we have learned how to live in different societies. We all could get together and share our experiences and the things that work from these kind of countries and the things that don't work, because you are all actually part of history too, because we are experimenting and taking risks. The people that left for a reason and wanted to like try something else because that wasn't working for them. Those people also have something to say. They have to say that some things here work, some others don't work.
Right.
And we need to work for a better future in Cuba.
Right. Yes. And I believe there's look, that conversation is had in every country. Every country has things that work and things that don't work, and we need to work together. And as a society, we need to work together and make and come together to reform those things that work and those things that don't work. Now, I know I promised you ladies 1 hour, or you gave me 1 hour, and I don't want to take away from your time, but we have a lot of people on the chat that really want to come in and talk to you guys and ask some questions. And I don't know, we still have a half hour, so I want to give our audience some time with you. Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. So, Riquette, can you put on the go ahead and put on the link? We have a lot of people asking. Please, we want to talk to them. We want to be able to to interact with these beautiful ladies.
Link is up.
Link is up, everybody. So anybody that wants to come up can come and talk to these beautiful, beautiful Cuban. I am so proud of the representation of the future Cubans in what I'm seeing in our young Cubans today. I really am.
Our fight for us, our fight is here, especially that's why we did the video in English.
In our young Cubans today.
I really am. Look at this one.
For us, our fight is.
I don't even fold my laundry, he says.
Fulano, you have a feedback on your mic.
Yeah, I already fixed it. It's because I was
awesome.
I already fixed it. That's when I used to play poker. I don't like to people bluff me, and I create this. I don't even fold my laundry. Hey, the question that I have is, you've been saying like 5 or 6 times if somebody want to come in to talk to those beautiful ladies. What about if they're not beautiful? We cannot talk to them?
I beg to differ, but if you don't think they're
trust
beautiful,
me, you just find the more proud Cuban. I don't want to say the other word because I don't want to see that, because I regularly say the other word too to American that you made in your life. And the more proud black Cuban that you know. Trust me.
Okay.
Good. So you
I don't have the talent. I cannot. I never learned. So the only thing I can do is move a little bit.
Yeah, with our music. You just go and listen to our music and then you can dance.
That's it. But I had my dad, like said, I had a very, very talented daughter. She can sing, dance, and do everything. And she's ridiculous beautiful. Yeah, but I'm glad here. Those two people I met then already, they're my friends. We talked quite a bit, and I'm proud that young black people is coming to the deal. Hey, you know what I said? They're not ready for the brown.
You have a question.
Just follow the history. Trust me.
Okay.
Follow the history. Follow the history. They're not ready for the brown. When they see it, they're going to realize they need to come with us, no matter what.
Yes.
I'm glad to see another Santiago person here as well.
Somebody,
Santiago.
Somebody in the chat is asking, "Is this Furanito de Tal?" And the answer is yes. This is Furanito de Tal, and he will take over our chat if we let him. So we're gonna let Star, that is down here waiting to give her 2 cents in. Estrella.
Hi. Toronto in the house. Toronto in the house.
Yay.
But you guys pretty young. You guys pretty young.
Ladies, I met you on the December 10 when we went in front of the consulate, and I'm really proud that you've been there.
Oh, thank you.
Because you know, Ernesto Perez was the one to organize the events, and myself too. And I have to call the police in the morning because something happened on Montreal, and they start to say because the lockdown, probably we can make it. And I spoke like 5 people, and they always asking how many people. And I don't consider myself a liar. And I say, well, around 10 or 12. And I was surprised that it's almost more than 15 people over there. And because of you, because all of them come there because of you. Even we made, I have to say that because even we made the event public and wherever, we don't have the same network that you have. Wow. I know a lot of people here in Toronto. I live here for almost 19 years in February. But you have the power of the art, and you move the youth, and that's important. I'm really glad that you go there, and I feel that spirit, and not on the art form. Well, I have art on my family. My brother in Cuba is a comedian stand-up. Probably you know him. He was the partner of Antolin when they have the duet, the Los Pios. Well, that's my brother, El Pío. Marcos, that's his name. And now he's on the, some show in Cuba. Yeah. And I have 2 teenagers. One of them is a singer and, play piano, guitar. And I like the art. Unfortunately, I don't have any talent. Just to dance. I like to dance, but that's it. And enjoy the art.
Yeah. Everybody has talent. You might not have it. You might not have an artistic talent, but you have some.
Oh no, I dance it really well.
You might can cook. You might can do the bed. Those are talent too.
Oh, no. I say about the art. No, I have another.
That's what I say. You might have different talent.
No, let me tell you, I know how to dance.
I can be a stand-up comedian.
Let me tell you, I am from the center of the island. I am from Villa Clara, Santa Clara. But I live in Guantanamo for 3 years.
Ooh.
My husband was from there. Oh, he's there. He's here now, but was born there. And I learned how to dance at the university with the famous dance they call La Chancleta. That's an Afro music, and I know how to dance that one. And I look like in Spain, but it's always a blood on the background.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm a half Guantanamero.
Yeah, and I learned how to dance changui.
Really?
I love it. I recognize on the La Cream song. I recognize the changui at the end. I have some ears about the music.
Yeah, we got some of that too.
I really enjoy that. And well, I have to say thank you personally, because I'm pretty sure if you don't go there, you don't bring the youth to that protest.
We're all
for us
doing anything that has to do with the truth about Cuba. We are always fighting and saying to Canadians the truth about Cuba, because they turn the face and they look to the other side because they want to go down there and enjoy the beach and enjoy the women and enjoy the guys and enjoy everything else that Cubans cannot enjoy. So it's very important that we tell them in their faces that if you're going, I'm not saying that you cannot go. I'm saying I am trying to inform Canadians that if you go, you are supporting the dictatorship. If you go, you are supporting misogyny. If you go, you are supporting taking advantage of poor people and women and men and everything. So that there, I leave it there, and then you make a decision.
Exactly.
Yeah, you use that power, because that one is important. It's important that the youth are like you say the truth about Cuba. That's what most Canadian. I have a lot of Canadian. They know our reality because on the 19th year I talk to them every single day. But I'm not in ours. I don't have a big network. I have friends, a good friend.
But everything counts.
Everything counts. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so sometimes they say, oh, you just on the campaign, you always talk about political, you are not afraid, because you live here in Canada and people are afraid to talk about political in general. But let me tell you, I
talk about everything.
I do protest here in Canada against, for example, the set curriculum, because I have 2 kids at the school, and I went wherever in front of the parliament, wherever. If I do that on that country that, well, I'm Canadian already, but I'm Cuban. I have to do for Cuban too.
Good
I have that's a civil, what I say is a civil movement.
That's right.
And we have to use that one to convince the people what really happening.
Stand up for you, right?
Yeah.
Yes, always. Always.
I jump a little late. What is it? You guys play jazz?
It's a fusion. It's a fusion between Cuban, African Cuban music.
And you were performing in Cuba? That you were performing in Cuba?
No.
You started. But you started in Cuba, or you started in the United States? Canada?
No, we started in Cuba.
In Cuba. But you didn't enjoy any organization, any group, anything in Cuba?
Yeah. So they actually.
Do you want to know? Okay. So we were.
What do you think? You think I don't want to know?
There you go. Let's do it. We were trained in Cuba at the music school, and I am a violinist, so I was part of prestigious orchestras. Magdalena is a percussionist, and she also was part of prestigious bands. And then we moved here to Canada. We were playing with another band. That's where we met, and then we created this band called OKAN, and that's what we do now.
Yep.
It's only music, or you guys sing too?
We sing.
Yeah.
No, could be you only play. I don't know. I just got here. All right.
Yeah.
Fulanito and everyone on the chat so if you see the banner in the bottom, there is all of their social media. We are simultaneously putting in all their social media on there. There's their website, their Twitter, their Facebook. Everything is on there. So everybody can please go onto their social media and support these ladies, because it is important also to support our, not just these beautiful ladies, the wonderful music that they're doing, but also our youth and what they're standing up for. So thank you, ladies, for what you're doing.
Oh, we have a friend with Shayla and Frank. They're from Ottawa. Yes, they're in Darwin. So and the reason why Iskra is doing this is because she was talking about the fact that all of the YouTube videos are in Spanish, and all the YouTube or Facebook or live, all these things that people are trying to send information about Cuba and what's happening in Cuba, they're in Spanish. So Lien, the woman that just wrote a message, she has a husband that is doing some lives on YouTube as well. If I recall, she can type it in the chat.
Well, I would love to get in touch with him because we need to join.
In Ottawa.
Yeah, we need to join forces. There's too little of us, and we need to join forces so that this magnifies. We need to magnify this to the world. The world needs to know.
He has a YouTube channel. He's also inviting a lot of people to this conversation. So it would be great if you get to know him. I'm so sorry, I totally forgot right now of the channel, but she will type it in very soon if she keeps listening.
okay. This is a commercial. I text him.
Darwin. I know Darwin.
Exactly.
Darwin. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I know Darwin, but he does his thing in Spanish though. El mundo
he's no
way, yeah.
Darwin. We're good. We're part of. I'm actually a member of his channel, but unfortunately, he does his in Spanish also. We need to do more in English.
Yeah. But he has a very big channel. It's very nice, actually. I'm there also all the time. Ladies, do you have any concerts in person or virtual coming up?
Yeah.
Well, what we have right now is the vinyls coming out, so people can purchase them. We're trying to upload the link to Amazon so people can buy the vinyls on Amazon. Right now, we're taking a break because even though, yes, it has been a slow year, we had a very busy year because we put an album out in October. We had some live performances, on camera, online, in front of the phone. And right now, we also teachers.
Yeah.
So we were teaching for this whole year, anyways, online, which is exhausting.
Yeah, exhausting.
And so we're taking like a little break. We were planning and trying to do a New Year's concert, but Toronto went on lockdown, Ontario went on lockdown again. So it's like, it was too many problems. So I think we said, you know what, let's take a break. Let's just acknowledge the fact that we had a busy year besides all the
despite all the craziness.
Yeah, and we missed touring, and we want to go back to touring, performing, and we can go as soon as all of this is over. We're going to hit every one of your cities, and we're going to go there and perform. And wherever you are, let's just come.
This is your dad shows up. Okay, this is a commercial. Maybe he comes in. I'm in the middle of the production in Cuba. They call Once Upon a Time in Cuba, and it's actually about two congas in Santiago de Cuba. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
Those two congas casually having a fight. It's a competition, but it's also a fight for one being kind of like a contestatory and the other one represent the government.
Okay.
One is actually represent with an old man, one represent with a young kid. I actually can send the very, very scene to Erica. I don't know if she can put it to this cry. I can send it to her. You guys can see it. I don't know if I can send it to you and you can show it.
I remember the group that came to my house. It's called El Grupo Rakatan.
Or if I decide to show out, he with his kid now. He's my filmmaker. He show out. I'm gonna make a commitment to he go film you guys wherever you are, and we make a video.
Okay, that'd be
nice.
So we have another person there. The guy driving.
Who's driving? Oh,
Ernesto, we can't see you. Ernesto, we can't see you.
Enciende la luz del carro, Ernesto.
We can't see you.
I got it on, but
we can't.
Es demasiado oscuro.
Hey, it's not my fault, man, guys. My skin is too dark that I cannot see myself either.
You can't.
I tried to find the light.
You mean? What do you mean? It's not your fault. You're black. What? I don't understand that.
I guess. My mom,
it's actually a bless.
It is a bless. We're the ones
You need to get there, but it's a bless.
Absorb every single color.
Exactly. Yeah. Look at a bunch of benefit. We don't have to take sun.
No,
we don't have to get tan.
We don't have to.
We automatically dark.
We have great hair.
We tall. We can talk loud.
I didn't mean that way.
It's gonna apply. You know?
And women definitely have a lot of other aptitudes. So let's just leave it at that.
I don't know. Hey, they don't know what they're missing.
Yep.
Ernesto.
Dime. Yeah.
What do you want to ask the ladies?
I just came late. I'm sorry. I told Iska earlier that I was driving from Georgia down to Tampa, so I'm in the middle of the highway. But I didn't want to miss the whole interview. I hear a little bit, and like I said, I'm sorry for coming late, guys.
It's okay.
I missed the whole story.
That's okay. That's okay. We've managed.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to catch up on this one.
Right at the front door.
Okay.
Very popular item.
I'm gonna have
one thing that I wanted to mention is like, because we need to figure it out as well how we can help from outside, how we are helping from outside.
Okay. So I actually spoke to, I don't know if you know, a lot of you, I'm sure you know him because he's very popular on YouTube and on Facebook. Luis Denver, right? Luis
You know
Denver.
him? You met him?
You know him?
No, I asked the girl, do you know him?
Luis Denver.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we follow him.
Okay, so I actually had a
conversation. You said you follow him or you fuck with him?
No, please leave the bad words out. Okay.
No. It's because I like it. If you would have said the second one, I like it.
And listen,
that's the way I like to talk.
I understand, but I think you've had too many of those wines. I'm going to put him on mute. Hold on.
I'm sorry. It's not that. It's me. It's me. When I have to gusanear in English, I love it.
I understand, but we're on YouTube and Facebook, and you know how it is. So we're going to have to, take it easy. So I'm actually working on a project with him, and we had a conference call today, and we asked him, what can we do for San Isidro, because we're from outside, we understand, and they're tired. They're exhausted. They're really some making a noise. I don't know who's making a noise. I'm gonna mute everybody. I think it was Ernesto. Yeah. Okay. So I asked him, I said, we want to know how we can help, because all we're doing is obviously doing this, right? We're putting the word out there. We're doing as much as we can, but unfortunately, are you making faces? But unfortunately, some of us, and I know how you feel, ladies, because some of us just feel like we're not doing enough, right? And they're the real heroes. They're the ones out there every single day, and every time they leave their house, they get caught and they get put in jail and they get put back in, and they're tired. And, we're trying to put together some, an agenda for them, but it's hard because they're exhausted. There's just no way. They don't have they're not in a mental state right now where they can follow anything. They're really exhausted, all of it.
So that's why I'm saying that a few ways of trying to help is if you can message them directly when you see them on Facebook, when you see them on Instagram or whatever. Message them directly, because they do need the support, because you don't understand how lonely they must feel in a country where a lot of people look at you knowing exactly that you're doing something right
for them,
for
you're
them, for
fighting
everybody.
for them.
You're fighting for everybody else,
Yes.
but at the same time, they don't get involved because their fear is bigger than their hunger. So the way we help personally was, at the end of the day, we all have to send a recarga somehow or some money at some point. So I did contact one of the guys, the young guy that no one knows very much, the 18-year-old boy that is running away from going to the
one that went to get the bread, the one that got into the one that he was going to get bread, and he got caught and put in jail because he was going to go get the bread.
Yeah.
For his grandmother.
So he didn't want to join the army.
Right.
So then to that guy, I sent a recarga because they are using the money and they're using the internet to say the real things that are happening in Cuba. So if you can communicate to them, if you don't have to send them money, I know that we have this parón, and I know that we have this not sending money to support the dictatorship, but these people that are saying the truth, they need internet, because if they don't have internet, the news are not going to come out. So we all need to help those that are doing already this job. Like if somebody just asking you for a carga and they just want that to like whatever, just be on Facebook and is chatting. No, we're not talking about that. Saying like, okay, if I'm gonna help you, I even asked my mother this. I said to my mother, I am not going to put a recarga if you don't share at least one post about San Isidro, because it's not fair that people are not at least sharing what is happening. So if you ask your parents or if you ask your family members, okay, do you want me to send you a recarga? Do you want me to send you money? Okay, if I see 5 posts of you saying something about what's happening in Cuba, I'll send you money.
Exactly.
Again, a type of recarga is a type of remittance, but instead of sending money through Western Union, you actually pay their phone bill by, let's say you pay for 50 megabytes of data or 100 megabytes or whatever it is, and then they trade that like, cigarettes in prison, and they buy things with that.
But
and that's a recarga, a recharge of your data.
But at least people are using the internet to do this. Like for the first time, the reason why this became huge is because everybody was sharing and posting about it. So the people in Cuba have to do the same. They don't have to do anything. Just share on Facebook. So then ask your family members, oh, do you want me to send you money? Okay, I'll send you money when you talk things about, because the government cannot put everybody in jail when everybody's posting.
When everybody realizes that, then they cannot stop internet. That's why the dead guy didn't want internet in Cuba for so long.
It must be a blood thing. Those girls talk like they'll listen to me already.
So that's why he didn't want internet, because then the world will have access to what's really happening in Cuba. And he wanted the world to see the face that the Cuban government has, that they cannot hide it anymore, because these guys are not as charismatic as the dead guy was. So his brother hasn't shown his face in a long time, just to do that ridiculous sort of show that they played the other night. And that guy that they put in power also has no word. I mean, he has no speech, because no one put him there but these guys. So no one knew him before. No one knows him now. It's just another guy in power, They used to call that gobiernos títeres back in history class, if I recall. So who's the títere now? Who's the puppet now? So things like that are happening. And the Cubans, I mean, I don't want to blame it on the Cubans in the island, because they don't know any better. We were one of them when we used to live there, and they don't know any better. They are afraid, and they are used to opening your mouth and getting the milk into their mouths, getting recargas, getting money. They don't know anything
But that's
else.
why we need to work together.
Yes.
Like somebody just mentioned, say they are losing it because of the internet. So this is why the Cubans outside of Cuba are telling you, brother, this is the reality. This is how you can fix this. This is how I'm helping you. I want to help you get your own money, your own shoes, your own phone, your own recarga, your own whatever.
Your own shoes. You can get your own shoes.
So if everybody works together, the ones outside here talk to their families. No, they cannot put everybody in jail. It is important that everybody understands that the only reason why we're in this situation is because we haven't come together as a nation.
Yeah.
Not even the ones inside and not the ones outside, because at the end of the day, everybody's profiting from this. Because even all of us at some point have made up the mistake or the gloating of going back to Cuba and feeling better than the others because you have a car and you have money and you have this and you have that.
Broken that
Everybody
way.
at some point gloats. So don't gloat, because right now we're all, absolutely all of us are in this same issue. We're all in this same hole. So together we can get out, because as you can see, they're making us suffer. Even if you're in Cuba or if you're outside of Cuba. If you're in, you have to wait for somebody to send you money. If you're out, you have to send them money and work extra. So there's no win-win for anybody here.
Win-win.
Right.
Yeah. The only way we win is for them to leave.
Risque, what we don't find this girl earlier. They're pretty clear.
Well,
what they're hiding.
And they have
but we don't understand that Cubans don't get together, and that is our biggest.
I know. It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close. I get confused with your name. What she was mentioning earlier is that nobody had to be, or nobody had to feel, not necessarily helper, because what you do is little or a lot. It's a continuation of what all we do for the same subject.
Exactly.
That's what you do. Follow the same thing, focus, and concentrate it to that. And if I got a chance to do a little, somebody else has a chance to do a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
it's support. And when that getting considered,
right. Yeah, I'm a big, honestly, San Isidro's movement, they're the real heroes in this story. There's no doubt about that. But we all, as Cubans, we all have a role to play. Every single one of us. We all, and I've been saying this since the beginning.
And there are many others. There are many, many others that have been fighting, and they're also in jail. That's why the sons of the Damas de Blanco and all the people in the park.
We all have a role to play in this, and we have to come together. Even if you do one post, even if you go into one of our programs and put a like and put a share and do one little thing every day. One thing you do is at least you've done something for Cuba.
Yep.
And it's so important that we have to keep in doing things, but don't thinking that tomorrow the dictatorship is gone. Some people, especially the youth, thinking that we start something and it's ending soon. No, we have to be resilient, resistant. Movimiento San Isidro, the Isidro movement, it's just the beginning of something.
Exactly.
It's just the beginning of something. Internet
to divert the attention now with all this craziness that they created.
About the money.
About
the
money,
exact same thing.
And the currency exchange and everything. So they're just trying to divert the attention from San Isidro problem, from the real Cuban problem towards this. So it's our job as Cubans outside to educate our communities. And no matter the language, it could be English, could be Russian, like there are Cubans everywhere. everywhere in the world. So in your language, you could just spread the word and say the truth about Cuba. Cuba is not just beaches, women, and and rum. Yes, but we cannot even enjoy that. You know what I mean?
And I'll be honest, we as Cubans, we're very proud people, and and we don't like to talk bad about our country. And I noticed that. And when I would come back, I used to go every year with my husband. I don't have any family in Cuba, but my husband had his children there. And when I would come back, I would be proud, and I would put on the pretty pictures and all the pretty things about my country because we're proud. We're proud of of who we are. But we also need to start saying the truth about our country, because just like I took pretty pictures, I also took pictures of the Havana that is falling apart, that is falling on top of people's heads. There were 2 little girls that were killed because of these buildings that are falling and crumbling up because the government does nothing about it. So we have to swallow our pride, because I know we're very proud. We have to swallow our pride and say the truth.
But look, it's like my mom says, like, I know you don't need to speak ill of your country if you don't want to. Yeah. It's just that in order to get fixed, you need to call the disease. So if you're sick, if you have cancer, you go to the doctor. The doctor tells you got cancer, so you got treated for it. If you got something in your leg, you get treated by it. You see that? Then start fixing the problem. You have to address the problem. Yeah. And the problem is that, and it's affecting not only us, but South America completely. Look at Venezuela now. It's pretty sad what's happening there. Yeah. And like that, it's that and government, it's a cancer.
Venezuela
in South
has
America.
Cuba written all over.
Yes.
That was Cuba who destroyed, like that. It is the real, just the show, like they did that to Cuba, right? And they hid it from the world for a long time. Then they went to Venezuela and they got it. And look at Venezuelans. They lost 60 pounds. The average Venezuelan lost 60 pounds, just like the Cubans in the 90s. They are immigrating everywhere. They have everybody's accepting Venezuelans as refugees right now. So that was Cuba. So white people cannot see that. People cannot understand that was Cuba's hand behind Venezuela. And every time I see Venezuela, I literally apologize to them when I say, I am so sorry for what my government has done to your country.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's so true. The average size of height of the Cuban person has actually gone down in time. And you see the difference when the kids come here young, outside of Cuba, and you give them that Quaker oatmeal, boy, and they just go.
My dear, I can show you my dog. I can show you my Cuban dog that we rescue a dog from Cuba, and it's supposed to be like Cuban dogs are small. My dog is this size. He's huge because he eats.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention that.
I'm like, I eat meat every day.
Yeah. There's a lot of Cubans that may still want to go to Cuba. They go year after year. And how can you do that? And, maybe have a good time and say, I'm visiting family, I'm helping. But the next year you go, they have one less tooth. The next year you go, somebody died of alcoholism.
I know it hurts. And our families are back there. We are the only ones from our family here. And it hurts. But trust me, the moment you leave your house and leave them $100, $1 million to your family in Cuba, they stay with the same misery that when you just arrived. You left. You come back to your capitalism. Oh, and enjoy your car.
No, you have to work harder because then you spend all the money
to raise money for the next year, because you come back with nothing from Cuba and your family is still poor. You didn't fix their problem. You fixed their hunger. Exactly.
It's also
for that month that you were in Cuba. Then you leave
And
it's a phenomenal thing, but it's also one way to take care of that. You really need to go back because you have to understand and respect whoever had to do it for sentimental because they can be. Just go to Cuba the same way you left. Go without money.
Yep. Right.
I want to respect your time, lady. I know you gave me 1 hour. It's 10:11 now. It's been an hour.
I have to go to the airport to pick up my grandma. That then I have to fight with the Canadians that are not allowing people.
I know. So I don't want to take your time.
Immediate family.
Quick question. I'll let the ladies go. Thank you, Rique, for introducing me to OKAN. Is that how you say it, OKAN?
OKAN. Where do you live, my friend?
I got you right now here.
Yay, thank you.
And I couldn't help but you reminded me of someone I got in contact with recently, Daime Arocena.
Yeah, she's our best friend. She's here also in Toronto, and we work together. And yes.
Really?
Yes.
I was the one who put the comment. You should collaborate with her.
Oh, yeah,
it's coming. It's coming.
Listen, she comes here. We talk about Cuba for hours every time we are talking and whatever. And every time she leaves, we're like, do you see? We still talk for like 6 hours again every time, the same thing, and we haven't started working. Like we just worked into documentaries that she's producing with her husband. So we put the music to that together.
Yeah. Nice.
Like together, like a song.
It's
like,
coming. It's coming.
But it's coming.
Well, I'm listening to Mercedes right now, which was with Telmari.
Yeah.
But when I heard Daime, and now when I'm listening to you, I felt extremely happy. And the reason why is because I see young people making real good Cuban music, fusion, more fusion than anything. Yes. After many years of suffering reggaeton, yes. I see that there is hope.
Hallelujah.
You guys
wait, hold on, Ángel, espérate, because I like reparto a little bit, okay?
No, I'm timbero.
You gotta shake that leg, bro.
I'm timbero. No, I'm all about Alexander Abreu, La Habana de Primera, and all NG La Banda. That was music. The lyrics sometimes, but the music was there. The academic preparation of those musicians, they were all jazz players. Averov, Carlos Oviedo, everybody. Anyways, but now I see a new generation that is really.
I got a bone to pick with you, Ángel, because, and maybe the ladies could back me up before they leave. I came out of Cuba in the 90s, in 98, and all through my childhood, all I heard was bam bam, básicamente, that type of music. Like, and then I meet all the Latin people, and they talk about rock, Enanitos Verdes, like Fabulosos Cadillacs, like all these, like whole world of music. And I don't know, was that by design by the government, or Cubans just don't like that stuff?
Yes,
soy conguero, no soy rockero. Like, what's going on?
They weren't allowed to hear them. That was.
Let me tell you something. NG La Banda, Jose Luis Cortez, they would go to Europe and they would play in a club timba, right? Cuban music. But the next day, the band would be divided in 3 different bands, and they would play in jazz cafes to a sold-out house. We're not talking about wannabe musicians. These are real musicians. The thing is that what sells in the world and in the Cuban radio stations is timba. Same with charanga banera. Charanga was known in Switzerland and in Europe before they went back to Cuba in 92. They were known all over Europe before they went to Cuba. These are real musicians, but that's beyond the point. The point is that I see a new generation of Cubans redefining Cuba for its musical value. And it's not the little bikini and image from the 50s. It's good music with good, amazing vocal words. These girls, they know what they're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
And then they get the Afro-Cuban roots, which is so rich.
Yes.
So rich with the orichas and the patakins and all that. And they fusion it with jazz and world rhythms, like Rique was saying, and it's analgesic for my ears after a churro and chocolate.
I fell in love with. I think,
Hey, come on! Don't mess with the king/president of the Republic, bro. Come on.
Girls, be ready. In January, the Cuban Canadian wanna make something. We are being contact, and we have something on the agenda.
Yes.
Wonderful.
We don't know the day, but we have something.
We also, friend, what's your name?
Angel.
Angel. Okay. Ángel.
Ángel. A ver, estoy en el brain, estoy en el crossover brain. I'm sorry.
Angel, pero so mira,
Angelito.
Mira, it's actually very nice to hear this from you, because sometimes we also give up, like when we hear what people are listening to, we're like, really, should we also keep doing music? We're making music, because honestly,
we should go commercial.
Should we just go commercial and just like?
No, don't go pop.
Don't do that.
Do not do that.
You keep doing what you're doing, because it, like I said, I just fell in love with your fusion. I fell in love with what you're doing. I love jazz. I'm a jazz fanatic. Like when I was in my 20s, I'm one of these old ladies. Even when I was young, like when I was in my 20s, I used to listen to the 50s, and when I was in my 30s, I've been listening to jazz since I could remember, and I would go to all these jazz clubs, and this fusion that you guys have is just, the persecution and the violin. My God. Oh, no, please keep doing what you're doing. And I know,
let me know if you can come to Atlanta, and I'll get you a place to play.
Okay.
The perfect spot.
We love Atlanta.
If you ever come to America, I will find you clubs.
We were there last
my
year.
dear friend, we hope to go to America, because that's where we make the money. So thank you very much.
Well,
those Canadian
Or
taxes.
I'm gonna find you guys. I'm gonna put you in a good project.
I'm going to Montreal and Quebec City.
I'm one of those.
Okay.
We have plenty of contacts here in Charleston. We have plenty of jazz clubs. We have an actual we have a
Do you know William Kidd?
In Toronto.
No.
He's a guy named William Kidd, like Alicia Kidd. He's a Cuban musician. Amazing. I sent you.
Oh, that's the guy in Russia.
In Russia, he's in Russia. I sent him one song. I'm his manager.
Okay.
All right.
I'm moving around.
Important people here.
All right.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm gonna find you.
I don't manage anybody. I just know a lot of people, and I put a lot of people in contact. I do the logistics.
She's pretty good doing that. No, I'm honestly, it was an accident. That filmmaker that I tried to introduce you is the one doing all their jobs. And of course, then Russia has situation to come to the United States, all the things. So I had a little, I don't know how to describe it, but I do that. I do that with painters, writers.
Okay.
As long the Cuba and
I review all of our social media.
Yes.
I'm the one that sees the emails.
Messages.
Also our manager, but I see the emails.
I'm a social media idiot. I'm too old for the social
You can
media.
send me an email on our website. There is our email, and the website is right
Oh,
here.
yeah. No, I'm gonna find you through. Risque. I'm gonna find you today, and
I have the contact.
okay, exactly. I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll find you. Because I'm one of those.
And everybody for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you. We'll be in touch. Take care. Bye. Bye.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna let them go because
Thank
we
you.
had
Thank you for joining us.
it was
Fulano.
wonderful to have them, wasn't it? They are just
I didn't
great.
know Risque. Do you know William?
What do you mean? You introduced me to him, bro.
Oh, it was me.
You were the one that showed me William, man.
I forgot about it. I said, how do you know?
I played him at the parties over here in Atlanta. Like, yo, listen to this guy.
No. He's not. Well, it's him because he's not that known, and we working and trying to bring it to the United States now. But the pandemic, you know how the scenes are. I got 3 people over there. I got a painter. Actually,
okay. Well, this is, lady, I'm gonna turn off the live stream, and you guys can.
That's
take
right. Yeah, we can talk about this on the side, Miguel. Dale.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Bye, guys. Take care. Thank you.